How's everybody doing? A warm hello and a heartfelt thank you. And thank you for spending a little bit of time with me here on this day, March 14th, 2025. Tomorrow is the Ides of March. Glad my name is not Caesar. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for hanging out, of course. I'm Big Cheds. You probably know me from Twitter at Big Cheds, and I'm on YouTube, Cheds Trading. I have published 3 books, and my 4th book is coming really, really soon. Maybe might even be able to publish it this weekend. Here's a mock-up of the cover. So since I have a new book coming, I'm making my 3rd book free. It's Trading Quotes Playlist, Trading Wisdom Playlist, and Battles with Cancer Playlist. So most of my stuff's free. Soak it up. I try to take, I teach a professional TA. I try to take the complicated, the academic, and I try to distill it into a format that's a little bit easier for you to learn. So check out all that stuff. This is part of quick market updates. I'll probably go 30 minutes and we'll just kind of riff on the market. If you're looking for like more in-depth, full market analysis, Bitcoin Live every Wednesday, Sunday night. I haven't missed one of those reports in 7 years or so. So how's everybody doing? Let me know. First of all, thank you for your patience. I'm a little late to start the stream today. I had to get a quick workout in. I had to get my blood flowing. You got to take care of your body. And so I kind of recognize when I need to get some sunshine, do a little quick workout, and maybe have a couple cups of coffee, few cups of coffee. So here we are. I'll do Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. And I'll take a look at your requests and your comments. So if you're hearing my voice, hit subscribe so you can join the chat room. Tell me what you think, what you'd like me to talk about. Any topics, any subjects, any charts, kind of anything like that. I'm doing this for you. This is for your benefit. It's my benefit too. I enjoy it. I like the interaction. But give me a good comment. What's Bitcoin doing? So let's look at a little bit of a multi-time frame. Let's do a multi-time frame on Bitcoin. So weekly chart, you can see on the weekly chart the range breakdown, right? Losing 90K. And you see the push towards the lower Bollinger, first lower Bollinger tag in a while, MA50 proximity. MA50's held, so that's notable. In the past, MA50's held. We'll see if it holds here. And we're just above the prior range high. So you can kind of see that that pocket in between these two ranges where not a lot of price action transpired. So you don't have a lot of structure there. So we see a drop into just above the range and the beginning of a mean reversion, a move against the falling channel. You see it in the weekly chart. Going to the daily chart, it's been chopping around, but there's a few things we want to mark up, and then we'll go to 4 hours. So you have a descending supply trend. It doesn't matter. Cheds, where do I put the line? Is it here? Is it here? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can tell them Cheds told you it doesn't matter. It's just a trend of falling supply. You've got the falling supply trend. You have the loss of range lows. And then you have, I think, what would be a trigger level to re-enter the daily range, which would actually be around 95. I mark it up that way. I've got my descending supply trend. You see the price chopping through on the reserve news, drifting back towards daily MA 200. Attempted to hold here, but failed with this series of lower shadow candles at the DMA 200, now kind of on the wrong side of the DMA 200. And then we have 4 hour with an attempted bounce here. We're seeing a little bit of mojo. We're going to mark up the 4 hour. So you see the price had been trying to, and I'll put this all into context in a minute, folks. You see the price had been trying to break through this local overhead right around 84K. We talk about the 2-level filter where you have the initial descending supply trend, the local. This is more of a local supply trend, the daily one. You can just see the daily one is more like that, right? But for the local supply trend here in the 4 hour, you have the initial bounce. You're waiting for like a lower high break. You're waiting for a recapture of some type of a resistance, a failed resistance or lost support, failed. Now it's punching through. So now we have our 4 hour, now an upper Bollinger breach, really the first time since all the way up here. We'll see if we get follow through on it. We shall see. I think if you're going to take a long thesis here, you have to manage your risk carefully. You don't want to really be holding above really 83.5, like below rather, if it fails to hold that. It's sure you're looking for a bounce. It's a weekly uptrend. And if you got here long in the spring here, you're feeling pretty good. I'm just still skeptical given that we're still in this no man's land in between in between the prior range and the lost support here. So we shall see if it can hold absent or without any kind of structure, any kind of confluence of any structure. That's Bitcoin. What about ETH? So weak, so sad. Momentum's really bad. It's, sometimes you want to get counterintuitive and you want to trade against what people are saying. Oh, it's so bad, so I'm looking for a bottom. Yeah, you need something. So we've lost 2100 on high time frame, which is a problem. We see how that had been a key level, really going back, even back to 2022. We're talking 3 years. Support, resistance, resistance, resistance broken through. Support, support, support. Now we're in the underside. It's a big deal. Ethereum needs to get back up above 2100, 2150. It's weak to Bitcoin. Look at that. Lowest price now since, in 5 years. A lot of people have wanted this to reverse. A lot of people wanted this to bottom because they want their bags or their altcoins to run. But no suggestion of that going on. And Solana, can it hold here at this last ditch support? We shall see. Problem is, we're already starting to see a weekly roll over, loss to MA50, first close below the weekly MA50, big follow through on that, retrace that entire, hammer candle from a couple weeks ago. We shall see. I'm skeptical on Solana until it gets some more serious momentum recapture. I think even back up above 180. It's a big distance from here, but it needs to do that to suggest it's going to rejoin the larger trend. Otherwise, you have potential to do a series of underside retests and roll over in this falling channel. So that's kind of my thoughts on those three. I'll kick it into the chat room. Folks, I'm going to go to the chat room. I want to see more questions. I want to see more messages. We get over 115 of you right now. Give me something. Tell me how you're feeling, where you're from. Give me a good comment, and we'll go from there. So what's up, Cliff? Dirty Donnelly, Joshua, Talos, Indy. Good to see you again. Indy, Frontier, John, and everybody else. Janes. Folks, thanks for hanging out here. Appreciate you hanging out here with me. Let's see what the chat room has to say. I think we have the smartest chat room out there, right? So prove it to me. Show me how smart you are. Give me some good questions, good comments, folks. Arjit says, oh, by the way, did I mention I went over playlists? Watch the Masterclass tutorial playlist. It's going to help you out a lot. If you want to get a sense of, my style, my moving averages, why I use them, kind of how to mark up a chart, all that good stuff. Arjit says, I learned more about TA from you than everybody else. Hey, thanks, man. It's just my style. There are other styles, better styles, perhaps, better traders. I try to be just my best, and that's my style. So thank you, man. Joshua says, Cheds, do you take M2 into account for TA? No. Nope. M2 money supply doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not a fundamental analyst. I have very little respect for fundamental analysis. Because semi-soft efficient market hypothesis is all public information's baked into the price. I don't use the USDT dominance chart. I don't really look at Bitcoin dominance. I just trade on the price. Can price hold support? Can it break resistance? Those things are fine. Like I had an argument with some guy on Twitter. It's like, Dixie's looks like it's topping off, so Bitcoin's gonna bounce. Maybe. What happened? They both went down together for like a week or two. Like correlations sometimes work, sometimes don't. I think for me philosophically, you don't want to waste your time looking at that unless you're really good at fundamental analysis. You want to be really disciplined because here's the problem. If you see something in M2 or you see something in another chart, you're going to convince yourself that something is supposed to happen with the price. It's supposed to go up or it's supposed to go down, and now you're leading the price. You're over anticipating. Okay, you do not want to be over anticipating. You want to let the price tell you what's important. If there's news, it's not about the news; it's about the market's reaction to the news. So I don't look at M2. I really don't look at anything outside of the chart other than sentiment, which can be very, very useful as a tool. So it's a great question. Frontier says great timing. Yeah. Pretty good timing. John, you want to look at SUI? Let's take a look at SUI. It held at $2. You'd like to see it hold here. There's a pretty big unwind. There's a big unwind from the peak here. Down 60%. Got a pretty aggressive falling supply trend. More aggressive sellers. Shall see if that breaks at some point. whether you play it on just a simple throwback to $2. You can also wait for a recapture of $3, and that'll be a pretty nice little long trigger. So it's one of those things where you don't have to worry about missing the quote-unquote move if you think it's going to $5, $10, $20. Wait for it to recapture 3. So far, you can see on the weekly, the higher time frame, it did hold. It did hold on a throwback so far, and it's so far like retesting that level. So it actually kind of looks decent. It's one of the coins I cover at Bitcoin Live, which means it's got a decent chart. I want to go short here somewhere. What do you think? Well, you talking about Bitcoin Frontier? Well, tell me more about your trade idea, and I'll tell you what I think, right? It's not just I want to go short. Well, if you're going to go short a couple ways, you'd want to see it lose like 84 and use that to manage your risk. Maybe a drop below 84 and have a stop loss at like 84.5 or something is reasonable. You do have the reason why I don't like this overhead trigger. You've got resistance. You've got all this resistance here. It's going to make it kind of a bumpy move, and any number of these could and should be a lower high. So I think you could either wait for a bounce a little bit higher, maybe to like an 86.5 range, look for a fade, or a loss of like 84K, in which you'd be viewing this as an upthrust. And then I know I asked you for your thesis, but I just gave you right there essentially how you can mark that. What's your favorite type of cheese? Says Talos. I don't know that I have one, even though it's my name. I like cheese, but I try to like have less and less of it as I get older, because I got my kid, she's always adding cheese everywhere. I'm like, listen, let's just have a little bit, right? I don't know. I'm not really a foodie. I'm trying to cook a lot more. I don't have a great answer. Like, what's your favorite type of cheese? That's a great question for which I do not have a great answer. Cheds, can we see Doge? Yeah, let's take a look at Doge. Take a look at Doge. Super weak. Unfortunately, it's breaking down. It is breaking down. It is breaking bad. This thing looks super weak. What do you do with it? I wouldn't play it. There's just like a ton of better charts. Look at this thing. Well below the 200 is rolling over, well below this 21 cents range. I just really don't like the chart. I think it's one of these where maybe you're watching it because it's an OG coin, or you think it's a meme coin, or it's got a quote unquote community or whatever. It's just a bad chart though. I mean, real big unwind rather, and it really needs to show you some strength. It needs to give you some type of recapture. Indy says, what's your favorite type of money? I'd say Bitcoin. Is that the right answer? Thanks for your time, says JC Vega. Based on your sentiment, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin under 67. I think you mean over? I think that's reasonable. If you're having a high time frame view, I think it's quite reasonable to view any price action really above the dual peaks, 2021 peaks, as a throwback. I think that's incredibly reasonable, and you'd probably see something like that illustrated even better in like a monthly time frame, and that's fine. That's quite fine. When you talk about I'm bullish, I'm bearish, it's a bear market, it's a bull market. Those terms don't mean so much as like what's your trading idea, what's your trading direction, and where are you defining when it's wrong, when it fails. I think that's the way you kind of want to look at it. You're welcome, Frontier. Big stats only. I live in New England. You asked about where I live up here in New England. There is no secret about that. We get all the seasons up here. Maybe a little bit too much snow, but I live up in New England, United States, born and raised in the good old US of A. Can we see Ave, says Caleb? Sure. Let's take a look at Ave Maria. I took it off my list because it broke down. It's sad to see it couldn't hold at 240. It couldn't hold at 200. It is below a MA200 that is starting to roll over. You see a very aggressive descending supply trend, aggressive sellers here. Longer time frame, I don't hate it. But you can just see this is a pretty nasty rejection, and that's a big time lower high. You kind of really just hope it holds here, all the way down here. It's kind of pushing towards 125. That would be a level it needs to hold for a longer time frame, rising demand structure, and kind of holding the peak of this consolidation range. But it's on big unwind. I'd be very careful kind of just jumping into this for sentimental reasons or other reasons. I think you can wait. I'd wait much higher. I'd wait for like a 2-level filter, maybe 240. And at that point, again, you get the descending supply trend. and then you get the lower high break. And that's how I'd play it. Are you a libertarian? I'm not. I don't really talk politics because I made a complete clown of myself last election. I do have some libertarian tendencies, though. I think people should kind of do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anyone. And, you know, I power to the people. I don't know, but I'm not going to talk politics because that's not what anyone listens to me for. I have zero expertise. I really embarrassed myself on the last election. So that's why you see zero talk in politics for me. I gave up the hobby completely. Thoughts on FET, JC? Let's take a look at FET. Seems like a macro wave 4. I don't know. You know, Elliott waves mean nothing to me. I don't think it does anything. FET, I mean, this is terrible chart. Terrible chart. Are you meaning like macro wave 4? What, go up or down? I mean, this is just bad. You should completely ignore FET until it can recapture 75. But it's still just overall very, very weak chart. Kind of hate it, actually. I mean, it's way below 2021 peaks. Big time unwind, and it really, really should have held at 75.80, and it didn't. So this is something I don't even think you should be watching this chart. It's just a really bad chart. So you can safely delete this one from the watch list. You know, and if you don't want to do that, have TradingView let you know if it gets back up above, 70, 75 cents, you can start to pay attention. It's a bad chart. All right, Lois. Come on, folks. Give me some better questions or I'm wrapping this up. But for those who are here, thanks for hanging out. Love from India. Thank you, Ritesh Kumar. And my love to you, Ritesh. It's very nice of you, brother. If you have a question, I'll try to answer it for you, Ritesh. So Lois says, hi, Cheds. Followed you since 2020. I'm holding 50% of my cash now. Do you think it's a good idea to keep holding cash for this time? That's up to you, man. Honestly, I'm not like a investment guy. I'm not an investment guy at all. I'm just a pure price trend analyst, and I'm trying to empower you, teach you how to read a chart, trying to teach you to manage your risk. And much of what I do is a lot of it is like trading psychology focused to keep you help you to manage your risk, manage your emotions. Should you keep your cash? I mean, it's up to you. I think cash is good to have because in this type of environment, it'd be good to get some volatility in Bitcoin. And then if we get like a shock dip to the 70s, that'd be a time to play Bitcoin in the low 70s. I'm not going to really have a good answer for you about Lois, about how to use your cash or not. I will say there's a couple things, and I talk about this in Trading Journal. Smaller position sizes are good. They're easier to manage for emotionally. Number one. Number two, I have a quote, basically never fire all your bullets at once, and you should never go all in. Always have some liquidity. So it's good to have some powder, and be selective and force yourself. Honestly, it's a good idea to force yourself. This is more of a bankroll management than investment and, advice. It's, having a certain amount of cash, you force yourself to be more selective with your entries, and you want to be selective. That is a very important. Ritesh, you're welcome, brother. Big stats only. What do you think of BNX now? Too much volatile? Yeah, interesting. So it still looks interesting, very volatile. We've got a very nice range developing. Support here around 80 cents. I like the consolidation. There's lack of sell volume on these red candles. You know what that means? The OBV will be OBV, and this is why I'm telling you, you don't even need to use oscillators. You can see it in the price. OBV will be doing something like that. Let's take a look. There it is. Boom. You can just see it. So this looks good. I like the consolidation. No volume in the red candles. This is support, even overhead level. Something's cooking here. That being said, if it fails to hold around 75 cents, I think that's a big problem. It's kind of like CRV had the same situation where it was a pretty nasty downtrend with evidence of accumulation. It recaptured some lost. It recaptured a lost level. So wait for range low interaction or a break back up above range peak, and that's how you want to play it. Do you look at the Bitcoin miner stocks, Doug? No, but I can look at them for you. I know they look really bad. I can look at a couple. If you have any, you wanted me to look at, you can have Riot and Mara here. These are just bad charts. These are all very, very bad, ugly looking charts. I wouldn't play them. There's no reason to. I don't think you should accumulate these. I think a lot of these were a vehicle for exposure to Bitcoin before there were ETFs and before there were other things. These are bad charts, like Clean Spark, Riot, Mara. These are just bad charts. What does that mean, bad? It means the market doesn't like it. I would avoid these. I would not be putting money in them. Look, you can have your fundamental thesis, or whatever, but just avoid them, okay? You're welcome, Lois. Love from Barcelona, said Diego. Oh, te amo, Diego. I love you. Have you covered Sonic FTM? Let's take a look. So I think it still shows up as FTM on Binance. So I'm gonna I can do it that way as long as that's the case, and we still have price history. Because what I'm looking for is price history. So yeah, I mean, what do you like about it though? Why like Phantom? You know, I mean, at that support, sure, it's slowly grinding higher. So you have a weekly chart with some evidence of rising demand structure, sure, but couldn't hold here. Bulls really have no momentum. Bulls are definitely on the back foot here, right? Bulls are on the back foot here, series of lower highs. Very pronounced failed breakout, aka up thrust. This is a very nice little short setup. You have follow through on that. You have a loss of support here. This is tough momentum. Sure, you're at a demand zone that's held in the past, but there's no real guarantee it holds. There's no volume here that would be indicative of any kind of a bottoming type of process. And you can see, look at this. Also, you see the OBV is going to be bad. Look at all this sell-off volume, right? Look at that. You can just see it. Like I told you, I've been telling you folks, you don't need to look at oscillators. You can just see it in the price. So you have continued evidence of distribution. I don't like the chart. You have to let the market do your fundamental analysis, okay? How about Litecoin? It looks bad. LTC, it's back below 100. A lot of people, there's a lot of bullish charts on Twitter, and this one up around 130, 140. And I said, not so fast. Not the Twitter account guy, but I was saying not so fast. There's no breakout yet. It's rejected every time it's tried to break. And we had essentially a very clearly defined trading range where you had 140 range above. Price is unable to, to regain it, and you get roughly 100, and it's below that. So I don't like it because there's no real momentum. It's sideways at best. You want to, folks, I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. We'll wrap up here in a little bit. If you want to go long in something, find an uptrend that has dipped. If you want to short something, find a downtrend that has just ripped, right? You want to take advantage of a move against a broader trend. I explain all of this in the Masterclass tutorials, 3 beginner and 1 advanced. You really should watch all of these. And I honestly, stop trading until you've watched at least one of the beginner Masterclasses. It's irresponsible to risk money if you haven't watched these. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful resource. And take advantage of it, okay? Let's see. The scams are the ones that run hardest. It's true, Frontier. It really is. And that's the whole thing. You can spend a lot of time saying H bar should be higher or AVAX should be higher because you believe it's not a scam or whatever. But scam, who cares? The market doesn't care. This isn't a market that rewards fundamental analysis. This isn't a market that has earnings reports and, price to earnings ratio. These are nonsense casino coins, right? These altcoins are vehicles for speculation. And other than Bitcoin, they're all garbage, in my opinion, because none of them have finite supply. Bitcoin has scarcity. And now I sound like a fundamental analyst. I'm putting that hat on. But just stop, spending time trying to figure out which ones are scams or not. Look, just play what the market gives you. Ride the momentum. You can sit around and complain that something's not moving, or you can just play what is moving. Right? You got to let the market guide you. And that philosophy has helped me out a lot. I've lost so much money in plays where I thought it should be higher, and I gave myself permission to keep holding all the way down because I thought it was a good project. Even Solana, there was definitely major sell signals here along the way. And if you didn't sell, failed at 215, failed here at 185, just because you think it's got a better technology or whatever, but what does that have to do with anything? It's all about supply and demand. It's about whether price holds support or not, breaks resistance or not, okay? I already covered Doge cars. You'll have to go back and take a look at that. Gray Market says, where do you look at sentiment? Here on Twitter, aka X. I go to my feed. I see what people are saying. I see how people are replying to me, and I can just feel and read the sentiment. It doesn't mean everyone can do it. It's my method. I literally spotted the sentiment bottom in Bitcoin on the exact day of the price bottom, right here on Like on this day, the 15.5 day, I was like, oh, sentiment bottom, but not price bottom yet. And you could just feel it. You can tell sentiment is very powerful. Doesn't mean everyone can do it, but it's my method. And you had nice volume here. Maybe I missed it a little bit, but I got long at 18.5. That's good enough for me. But sentiment gave me a bottom here, and sentiment is a very powerful tool. Pay attention to it. And that's what I use. And so Twitter, to answer your question, Twitter is where I read sentiment. All right, great question. Let's see, kind of look at Aero. Sure, I'll do one or so more. We'll wrap it up. This is a nice little stream. Again, sorry I was late today. I had to get a little workout in. Aero's terrible. Why are you even looking at this one? It's a horrible chart. Market hates it. Delete it. Delete this from the watch list. Do me a favor and hit delete. And you need me, I'm looking at this for you, right? But what am I, you can't see how horrible this is, my friend? And I'm saying this with love. Everything I say with love is you don't need me to tell you this is absolute trash. And the market hates it, right? Gotta let the market do your fundamental analysis for you. That is just a terrible chart. I need another sip of coffee. I need a palate cleanser after looking at that chart. All right, folks. This has been a great little time here. We got 150 of you. Thank you, folks, for hanging out. This is part of the quick market update series on my YouTube channel, Cheds Trading. Folks, I have my new book coming out maybe this weekend, The Trading Journal, okay? I am pumped. I'm super excited. I'm teaching you why you should use a trading journal. I'm teaching you how to fill out a trading journal, right? What goes into it, stop loss, profit-taking plan, emotional mindfulness, how you're feeling when you enter and exit the trade, lessons learned. Then I'm giving you, I think I have 15 or 16 sample trade setups, style, techniques. And then when those techniques fail, good trader habits, emotional management. And then I have, I think, maybe 20 sample trading journal entries that give you kind of a story of the trader and evolution of how that trader went through. And then I think there's 100 blank pages for you to fill out. I'm super proud of this book. It's coming out really soon. So I'm making my third book free. The first two books already have free versions. Trading Quote, check out that free version. This is kind of a variety style market stream. I did a brief look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I do a full market report at Bitcoin Live every Wednesday, Sunday night. So consider checking that out if you're looking for more in-depth analysis. And by the way, when you sign up, you get access to the entire team's work. This is the best team in the world that studies crypto. I'm super proud to be working with them. So, folks, thank you. What a nice little chat room today. Thank you for hanging out here with me. Would I rather fight in World War I or World War II? I think World War I was a little bit more dangerous with all the chemical warfare. But I didn't go. I haven't been in the military, and I have great respect for people who have. I always, when I see someone with a hat, especially an old timer, I always say thank you for your service, because I know that I didn't have the stones when I was younger to enlist. So I never did that. I guess maybe World War II, because World War I think with the chemical warfare, and maybe the medicine was better in World War II if you got hurt. I'm just throwing things out. So, but none of them were great, obviously. Interesting question. I'm very interested in history. Folks, thank you for hanging out here. Thank you. So I'm going to try to do a stream tomorrow. Let's say mid-afternoon. There's a chance I can't figure out the stream because I'm traveling, but I'll probably get it done. So if not, I'll see every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. We're doing these on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out here with me. And my love to you. We will talk soon. Big Cheds out.